Hey folks, picture this. You're glassing a trophy buck at 400 yards, heart-pounding you, and that slim little cartridge in your rifle has you second-guessing, can this featherweight really drop him clean without turning your shoulder into a bruise factory? Or you're staking out a prairie dog town, craving a round that zips flat as a laser, drills holes without the magnum mule kick that leaves you wincing. Yeah, we've all been there, chasing that sweet spot where power meets portability. Well, strap in tight, because today on Firearm Standard, we're unpacking the tiniest terrors in hunting ammo for 2025. These compact killers that outpunch their size class with pinpoint precision, butter-smooth recoil, and ethical one-shot stops. No need for a shoulder cannon when these gems deliver trajectories that defy gravity and takedowns that respect the game. We'll count down from varmint vaporizing classics to horizon-stretching magnums, comma proving that smart bullet matching trumps brute force every hunt. Hang tight to crown our top dog for epic open country pursuits. If this lights your fuse, smash like, subscribe, and bell up for more raw, real gun gospel. Let's lock and load! Number 6, 22 Hornet. All right, let's kick this off with a classic that's been around since your grandpa's hunting days, the 22 Hornet. This little rimmed rascal from the 1930s still holds its own for small game like rabbits, foxes, and those pesky varmints that raid your garden. We're talking a 45-grain bullet zipping out at about 2,700 feet per second, with recoil that's basically a love tap, around 8 foot-pounds. Perfect for newbies or anyone who hates getting battered after a long day in the field. I've taken it out on youth hunts, and kids love it because they can actually stay on target without flinching like they've seen a ghost. Factory rifles are dirt cheap, ammo won't break the bank, and it cycles smooth as butter in bolt actions like the CZ527 or even a Ruger No. 1 single shot. It's whisper quiet compared to those big magnums, so you can skip the bulky ear pro in open fields, though I always toss in plugs just in case. Handloaders, listen up. Crank a 40-grain VMAX to 3,000 feet per second for those explosive prairie dog pops that make you grin ear to ear. Most states green-light it for fur bearers and pests, but double-check your regs before you head out, or you'll be explaining yourself to the game warden over coffee. Pair it with a simple 3.9x scope for quick snaps on coyotes at dawn, and you'll be dialing in clays at 100 yards like a pro after one session. The key? Precise placement. Aim behind the shoulder for humane drops every time. Pros: recoil so low you forget it's there, flat shooting to 200 yards, and cheap practice that builds real confidence without emptying your wallet. Cons: stick to small critters, it's no deer slayer, and wind can toss those light bullets around past 150. Brass might split if you hot rod reloads, so keep it mellow. All in all, the 22 Hornet's your gateway drug to hunting fundamentals. Easy on the body, easy on the budget, and a blast for weekend pest patrol. Just respect the range, pick expanding bullets, and you're set for ethical fun. Number 5, 223 Remington. Moving up the ladder, we've got the 223 Remington, that military-born beast that's become a hunter's best buddy for coyotes, bobcats, and prairie dog towns out to 300 yards. Picture a 55-grain bullet screaming at 3,200 feet per second with recoil that's a joke, about 4 foot-pounds. It's like shooting a .22 mag but with grown-up attitude. I remember my first AR-15 build. This round made follow-ups lightning fast, and the whole rig weighed under 7 pounds, perfect for hiking those backcountry ridges without feeling like a pack mule. Ammo's everywhere, from bargain bin FMJ for plinking to fancy polymer-tipped expanders that mushroom like clockwork. Light barrels stay cool during those rapid-fire Dogtown sessions, and threading on a suppressor? Easy peasy for keeping your ears happy around livestock. Hand load with 77-grain match bullets, and you're pushing 400-yard precision. Great for those competition-style hunts where every shot counts. Ethical tip: always go soft point or ballistic tip to avoid over-penetration. Nobody wants a runner. Youth models like the Ruger American Ranch make it accessible for the whole family, and sub-MOA groups with factory loads? Common as dirt, building that shooter mojo quick. Just verify your zero before opener. Temps can play tricks. Pros: ammo variety for any budget, AR modularity for custom tweaks, and headshot accuracy on varmints from afar. Cons: it can be iffy on bigger foxes in thick brush, and some states nix it for big game thanks to FMJ risks. Bottom line, the 223 your go-to for affordable, versatile predator control in open country. Match bullet to game, practice safe, and keep it legal. Simple as that. Number 4, 224 Valkyrie. Now, if the 223 left you wanting more reach without ditching your AR-15, meet its souped-up cousin, the 224 Valkyrie. Federal cooked this up based on the 6.8 SPC case, and man, does it deliver for long-range varmint whacking or even deer in a pinch. We're talking 75-grain bullets at 3,000 feet per second, or heavier 90-grain slugs that stay supersonic past 1,000 yards. Yeah, you read that right. Recoil's still tame, around 10 foot-pounds or less, so you can spot your impacts and adjust on the fly without getting rocked. It's a dream for precision shooting from your modern sporting rifle, extending effective hunting range to 500 yards on coyotes or hogs, with those high BC bullets fighting wind like a champ. I've seen guys drop varmints at distances that'd make a bolt gun jealous, all while keeping the setup lightweight and modular. Ammo's gotten better availability in 2025, with options from 60-grain zappers for prairie dogs to 90-grain SMKs for serious reach. Handloaders, twist rates of 1.7 or faster, stabilize those long pills perfectly. No keyholing here. For hunting apps, it's killer on predators and small game. But for medium critters like deer, stick to expanding loads within 300 yards for solid terminal performance. Don't push it like a magnum. Suppress it for stealthy setups, and pair with a 416x optic for dialing those far-off shots. Pros extends AR range without extra recoil, affordable compared to Creedmoor cousins, and flat trajectories that simplify holdovers. Cons: early ammo kinks are mostly fixed, but it's not as punchy as 6.5 Grendel for bigger game ballistics. Barrel life can dip with hot loads. If you're an AR fan chasing distance without the bulk, the Valkyrie's your ticket. Ethical, fun, and a step up from standard 223 fare. Just train up and know your limits. Number 3. 6mm Creedmoor. Alright, shifting gears to something a bit more modern and punchy. The 6mm Creedmoor. This one's a precision darling that slings 105-grain bullets at 3,000 feet per second, giving you flat shooting magic for antelope, deer, or hogs way out to 500 yards, all with recoil that's still polite at about 12 foot-pounds. It's like the 243 on steroids, but without the attitude, born from competition routes where every tenth of an inch matters. I've taken it on prairie hunts where wind tries to play spoiler, and those high ballistic coefficient bullets just shrug it off, extending your reach without guessing games. Bolt actions like the Bergara B14 eat this roundup, spitting sub-half MOA groups if you do your part with a steady trigger squeeze. Match-grade brass reloads like a dream, letting you tweak loads for your specific rifle. Think ELDM bullets dropping only inches at 300 with a 200-yard zero. Lightweight carbon barrels make it a joy for mountain treks, keeping the whole setup under your arm without dragging you down. Hunter stories? One buddy nailed a mule deer at 350 with a single lung shot, thanks to that deep penetration and controlled expansion. No drama, just lights out. For optics, slap on a scope with BDC reticles that sync perfectly with the Creedmoor's arc, makes those long pokes feel like cheating. Factory loads from Hornet keep velocities consistent, so you're not chasing ghosts between boxes. Varmint hunters can drop to 70-grain pills for exploding prairie dogs, while big game folks stick to heavier expanders. Quick twist barrels stabilize those long projectiles without a hitch. But remember, velocity brings a sharp crack. Ear Pro is non-negotiable. Pros, trajectories so flat they simplify everything past 400. Energy that hangs on for the long haul, and recoil mild enough for marathon practice sessions without regrets. Cons: premium ammo hits the wallet harder, hot loads chew barrel life quicker, and it's straight overkill inside 100 yards where simpler rounds shine. In essence, the 6mm Creedmoor marries magnum distance with everyday gentleness, making it a versatile beast for mixed hunts. Dial in your dope, pick expanding projectiles, and you're golden for responsible, confidence-boosting shots. Number 2. 243 Winchester. Next up, the 243 Winchester, your Swiss Army knife of small calibers that handles deer, pronghorn, or coyotes out to 400 yards with a gentle 10 foot-pounds of recoil. This one's been a staple since the 50s, firing 100-grain bullets at 3,000 feet per second and earning a rep as the go-to for youth and women who want power without the punishment. Picture a lightweight rifle like the Tikka T3X tipping the scales under 6.5 pounds. It's what got my niece hooked on hunting because she could actually enjoy the shot instead of dreading it. The dual-purpose vibe is killer. Same gun for venison one day and varmint control the next, just by swapping loads from 58-grain zappers to 105-grain heavies. Partition bullets drive deep for those broadside lung hits on whitetails, while polymer tips expand reliably even at lower speeds downrange. Hand loads tuned to your chamber's throat can crank out sub-MOA accuracy, and short-action rifles cycle like silk for quick follow-ups on movers. I've seen kids nail targets without developing a flinch, building skills that stick for life. Clean your barrel with quality ammo, and it'll hold velocity through seasons without a hiccup. Scope-wise, a 312X covers everything from open fields to timber edges, giving you flexibility without overcomplicating. Factory stuff from Federal, Winchester, or Nosler is stocked everywhere, so you're never caught short. Check your twist rate. 1.9 handles heavier deer bullets best for stability. Pros: flat enough for 300-yard shots with minimal holdover, a bullet buffet from light to heavy, and it's a proven deer dropper in 49 states. Cons: those featherweight bullets might fragment on bone hits, wind bullies the varmint loads past 250, and brass doesn't reload forever like bigger cases. Bottom line, the 243's your one rifle wonder for mixed bag adventures that don't beat you up. Choose bullet builds wisely, drill often, and keep it safe and legal. It's effective when you match it right to the game and distance. Number 1. 257 Weatherby Magnum. Saving the best for last. Well, big in speed, not size. The 257 Weatherby Magnum. This screamer launches 100-grain bullets at a blistering 3,600 feet per second, flattening trajectories for elk, deer, or sheep past 600 yards, with recoil at 15 foot-pounds that's manageable thanks to modern brakes. Roy Weatherby's brainchild from the 40s, it's all about velocity shrinking wind drift to zilch in those vast basins where shots stretch forever. Belted Magnum brass feeds flawlessly in Weatherby Mark rifles, built tough for the pressure. Handloaders, go wild with 115-grain partitions at 3,500 feet per second for bone-smashing penetration on moose. I've heard tales of clean pass-throughs on caribou at 450 that left jaws dropped. Muzzle brakes slice felt recoil in half, letting you watch impacts and adjust without stars in your eyes. Dope's dead simple. A 200-yard zero means just 30 inches drop at 500. Talk about point and shoot. Ultralight models with carbon stocks clock under 7 pounds, ideal for sheep hunts where every ounce counts. Factory loads from Weatherby or Nosler deliver sub-MOA right out the gate, no fuss. For glass, a 525X scope lets you dial extremes with precision. Fast 110, twists lock in those high BC pills without tumbling, but clean the bore after every trip to fend off copper fouling. Pros: outranges any factory 25 cal with ease, packs over 1,000 foot-pounds at 500 yards, and premium bullets expand like pros at warp speed. Cons: proprietary brass and ammo cost a pretty penny. Heavy barrels are musts for heat control, and close-range shots? Total overkill, wasting meat like nobody's business. Ultimately, the 257 Weatherby owns open country big game when the horizon's your limit. Harness that power with top-shelf components, zero often, and hunt ethically. Practice, bullet choice, and knowing your edges make all the difference. Wrapping this up, folks, these tiny terrors show that hunting smarts trump brute force every time. Pick the right round, bullet, and setup for your game, and you'll bag ethical harvests without the drama. From varmint popping to long-range big game glory, they've got you covered in 2025. If this fired you up, give it a like, subscribe to Firearm Standard, and hit that bell for more straight shooting tips. Stay safe out there.